G'day Jive Talkers. Today we're going to talk about scratch plates for a 48 or an FJ Holden. You're with Jules Knight on Jive Talking Garage. So we got the trusty apprentice helping us today, Elodie. She's been very good. She's getting very big. She's losing some of her black and all of her silver's coming through. So she's helping the other shop dog as the apprentice. She's helping Louie, learning the ropes. So we're going to put it down for a moment. Now, every FJ Holden that I've bought, ute, sedan, few panel vans, none of them to start with have had scratch plates. Now, even when Holden brought them out, they didn't have scratch plates. Holden didn't make them with scratch plates. And it's sort of, if you look at the book, you can see they're pretty plain. I've shown on the last episode of all of the accessories, and it looks exactly like this. And there's no scratch plates on the doors, right? And if you go and be a scrutineer at state titles or nationals or whatever, cars will roll in with scratch plates. I've gone out and bought scratch plates and put them on every one of the cars that I've seriously kept, and they are a lovely thing. They add not only a bit of glamour and a touch of luxury to your car, but also they're very practical because the plate that they're called plate, paint protector package, and the plate that they have behind the door handle stops people scratching the paint with their fingernails, their fingers, rings, holding keys, all of those sorts of things. They're really good. Now, I've shown you how they're not in the FJ, but when I say they're not in the FJ, it doesn't mean to say that you couldn't get them. So if we go to the AHF rules, and let's have a look at 5.05. It says, for the purpose of classification of stock vehicles, the following items shall not add points of modification and shall not place the item out of stock or the vehicle out of stock. And then point A, 505A, clearly says accessories which were available at the time of vehicle manufacture, including all mirrors, aerials, flaps, lights, engine accessories, etc., etc. And that's where the scratch plates fall into the etc. Now, they weren't a genuine Holden accessory or a genuine NASCO accessory. NASCO being National Automotive Service Company, owned by General Motors. However, they were available, and people found they were very, very popular. Now, there's two types. There's a small and a large. Now, they're not dedicated, the small one goes on the 48 or the FX, and then the big one with the line on it goes on the FJ because the line matches the hubcap or whatever. That's not the case. People would buy them and put them on whatever model or type of car that they had. Now, in saying I couldn't find them in the FJ, that's very true. However, when I go to the FEFC catalogue, I sure can find them. But it's a different shape, a different type. They are paint protection package for a front door and a rear door, 740 6614. 740 6614. So that's the next body shape after the FJ, after the humpies, and that's fine. So in following the scratch plates up, you know, they were a thing. So if we go to the, I think this is a 1958 catalogue, and if we go to, let's see, accessory 91, there it is, plate protection. You can see the door handle and the plate behind it. Now, these are glamorous, and they are well worth having, and people use them quite well on their cars, and they add a lot of value. You can probably get a pair for, I see them around $300 as I use my jazz hands, and there's I'm going to say plenty, but well, there's not plenty, but there's lots. You see them, they pop up regularly, but don't forget, you know, we're talking about cars from 1948 to March of 1957. They are, things for these cars are drying up, so you've got to get them while you can. But anyway, so I've talked to you about the book for the FXFJ. I've shown you the next model shape up. But if we go to, you know, the accessory, so this is HK, HT, HG series, 1968-ish up, and I must say, you know, here they are, you know, plate, paint protector, and it shows you what that model ones looked like, and here's the ones for the, you know, EJEH, and then the HD, HR, and so on. You know, that's what I had on my HD. I had a full set there, and Basil helped me repair one. But you know, so they're saying that this was quite a good and profitable accessory, but it was also practical as well. I saw ones for you know, the later models, 600. They sold for 500, whatever was the case, and they were new old stock. So that was a full set. So there are things around. But anyway, let's go and have a look at the FJ ones. So if we have a look at my FJ, you'll see when I got the car, it didn't have any scratch plates. I put some old ones on it for when it came out. However, for the last Nationals, I got you know, nice set of scratch plates for the car from Hot Rod Rodney in Perth. So I've put them on, and as you can see, you know, they're a nice sturdy construction, chrome plated. In this case here, they've got the same color as what's in the hubcaps, and also the black in these indentations. Now they are affixed with 1, 2 and 3 holes. I haven't drilled this one all the way through because the locking strip that holds the door handle in, and I've only got my old door handles on at the moment, I've got new ones for it, but the strip itself is hardened steel, so it's a real difficult piece of equipment to actually drill all the way through. You've got to go very, very slow so as to not blunten your drill bit. But look, the scratch plates themselves add a lot to your car, and as far as I'm concerned, you know, I think they are a pretty good accessory as far as, you know, things being practical are concerned. That's scratch plates for today for a 48 or a FJ Holden. Hope you've enjoyed the quick segment. Don't forget, see us on Jive Talking Garage on Facebook and also YouTube. More importantly, enjoy your Holden.